All right, everyone, welcome back into another Prize Picks video. Going to be touching on the top prop bets to go with the tacos today. So starting with the first taco that we have available, it's going to be Tyler Wells for over 3.5 strikeouts. We can see the past 5 games he's been able to get the over there. That's great. Obviously, it's a taco. We're going to go ahead and pair that with 5 individual prop bets that are going to be the best on the day. The issue is that we really don't have that many good prop bets to go with that. I was hoping that that NBA Summer League would end today instead of yesterday. I was looking at the schedule because we would have hopefully got some good props. Isaiah Mobley, that a boy. Cash first every single game. Pretty sweet there. NBA Summer League MVP as well. Fun stuff there for him. But let's go ahead and start with the MLB props for the day. And so looking at it right now, we are really not getting that many good MLB-based props. We're just not. It's unfortunate. Really the best one that we have projection-wise would be Daniel Lynch. And based off the average odds that we're getting, it's about a 53.4% chance for that one to hit. So really not a good prop bet that we're getting there. If we go ahead and look at some other ones like hitting fantasy score props, all the ones that we're getting there, we'd probably be forcing in there a little bit. Matt Olson's okay. Mookie Betts is okay. Corey Seager's okay. Like these are all okay. We don't have any great ones though. If we go and take a peek at the pitching fantasy score props as well, we have one that's okay. That'd be Aaron Nola, just because Vegas thinks that he's going to be able to get the over. Okay, they have it set at 40.6. PrizePicks has a line set at 39.5, but the projection data only has it set at 35. So definitely tough in that regard to really go in on any of these ones. So what I want to do for the MLB section is just kind of call out some of the prop bets that are kind of standing out to me. If you guys want to roll with these, you can. They're not really going to be statistically great ones, obviously based on the Vegas odds and whatnot, but that's kind of the day that we have, unfortunately. So the first one would be looking at Jordan Montgomery potentially. We can see he has been able to get to close to over the fantasy score or at the fantasy score a bunch. He is one of the players where, projection wise, it thinks he's going to get over. Vegas does not think he's going to get the over. Obviously going to be a tight line. Don't exactly love that. It does feel like we'd be forcing it a little bit. One that I sort of like would be the over 3.5 strikeouts right here. We look at the game log. We can see 6 innings pitched, 5.2 innings pitched, 5, 6, 7. And he has been someone that lately has been pitching a little bit better, although the pitch count hasn't been too high. That's going to be the worry. And then obviously a tougher matchup going against Philly as well. It's kind of one of those situations where you could potentially bet the over strikeouts for him. And then on another slip, maybe go with Trey Turner for over fantasy score, just because we're just trying to gain a unit profit there by doing that. And that's really honestly kind of it. I mean, Manny Machado has been one of the best players in baseball for the past 30 days now. If you guys want to roll with that, continuing the hot streak, you could. The last 2 games, 6 and 4, which isn't terrible. Just wasn't able to get his over hitting fantasy score. We just really don't have that much. So that's why I'm trying to search for something. Like Matt Olson as well has been one of the better hitters for really the past 30 days. If you want to roll with that, you could. They're all a little bit too tight. So with that being said, let's go ahead and switch up and get into WNBA, seeing if we are getting any sort of edges there to try to go ahead and pair with the tacos. And we really aren't getting any good ones. All right, let's just be clear with that. We are not. The best one that we are getting really on the day would be Alyssa Thomas for under 8.5 assists. Only projected to get 7, 54% chance for that one to hit. That is literally the best one that we are getting. I don't really like going with the underdog props that much, but that's really the best one that we're getting. Then maybe we could potentially run out one of these where we are getting a prop line difference as well. Cheyenne Parker here. PrizePicks has the line set at 15.5, whereas Vegas, the average Vegas line has it set at 16.5. Same thing for Diwana as well, where it's just valued by a point more. I mean, that's really it. If we see any PrizePicks and Underdog prop line differences, we'll take a peek at that. We get one, and that's going to be with Brittany Griner's points. Whereas Underdog, you're probably better off betting the over on Underdog with that one. I mean, that's really it. I mean, it is tight. And then maybe Cheyenne Parker for over rebounds as well. There's a slight discrepancy there, but that's it. All right. So now let's go ahead and move on into esports. So the reason why I'm covering it like this instead of being direct is because I want you guys to be able to make the best educated decision you guys can possible, because we just don't have the best board. I mean, even looking at the esports props that we have right now, super tight. Now, I was hoping that we would get some dropped right when this video went live, just because typically speaking, that's when we do get the biggest edges in props, and we're just not very tight right now. And I don't know if you guys caught this, but yesterday there was some huge discrepancies, 66% was one of them, or a couple of them. It was crazy. So yeah, I mean, really extremely tight right now. Even in the prop line differences, we're not getting that many. So that being said, I do think it's best to just go ahead and give out some PGA based props. Thankfully, we are getting them, and that's kind of why I waited as long as I did, because I was hoping we get a fully populated PGA board, and that is what we are getting. So let's go ahead and touch on those props that we have available to potentially pair with the tacos. So first and foremost, I want to call out that this tournament is going to be a par 71 tournament. So a lot of the props are going to be set at 1 under par, 2 under par in that regard. Okay, so a lot of interesting stuff there. And I do want to call out as well, we probably want to be targeting the players that have the earliest tee times. They're both going to say AM. This is going to be overseas, with it being the Open Championship, with it being the British Open. It's not the name now, but you guys get the picture. So like Terrell Hatton, he actually has the PM tee time, whereas someone like Patrick Cantlay has the AM tee time. And why am I calling that out? Because there could end up being a big weather advantage, okay? And it just wouldn't be shocking to see that happen like it has in the past. And so I really don't mind the idea of maybe targeting some of these AM tee time guys that are expected to play well. So for like Tommy Fleetwood, 70 under par or 70 strokes, 1 under par seems likely, especially given how good of a play he is this week. And for what it's worth, this is the 9-5 model rank for him, which is, coming from the 9-5 fantasy golf database. Top 10 play this week. He's from England as well. He has everything going for him. So he is someone that all in all is a good play, is expected to be a good play. And if we pull it up here, we can see he's actually going to be one of the better round 1 showdown plays as well. Typically speaking, I like to target the golfers that have the AM tee times as well, just to give us a slight advantage there. But he is looking like one of the better round 1 showdown plays. Thus, this line of 70 that we're getting should be a good line. And then from there, can we find anyone else that's going to be kind of a similar prop to him in that regard? Maybe someone like Shane Lowry, who should be a good play this week. We'll see. I do like the line for Cameron Smith as well, basically saying that he needs to finish 2 under par. Same thing with Ricky Fowler, 1 under par. That just seems like a very good line that we're getting there. So for me, I really like a lot of these lines that we are getting. And for what it's worth, based off the lines that are out there, they're kind of saying everyone's going to have the same amount of birdies or so. So with that, some of the plays that are about the same should have about the same as well for their stroke total. I don't really get what's going on. There's a couple of props where we had the same player listed twice. We'll see. That's a little strange as an FYI. And just for what it's worth, looking at the prize picks board here for golf, we can see that they are all pretty darn close. There is a situation maybe we could run out some prop line differences if we wanted to, but they're all close. I mean, this is very tight board. I want to make that very clear. I don't mind the idea of maybe potentially stacking it in the hope that the course plays a little bit easier. And as it sits right now, the weather does seem to be tamed, so the course shouldn't be playing too difficult. The biggest defense that this course has is going to be the weather, so that could be a potential route that we go. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the bets of the day. But first, just remember to give a like to this video, and if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to give a subscribe. That does help with the channel a lot. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the bet of the day. So I do feel like we are being forced into making these golf-based props with the tacos, and the unfortunate side is that we're going to have our partially part of our bankroll tied up until Thursday, which albeit oh well. And I do want to call out that this is 2 things. One, these should be situations just based off of how I think the course is going to play where they I shouldn't say easily, but they do finish under par. If it does get more windy though, we could see these numbers all jump up like 1. So it's not a terrible idea to somewhat hedge in this regard, where you are then betting the over for all of them as well. Do think less is the proper bet, but if it does get windy, that could easily happen. Then I don't mind the idea of also placing this that we're betting the over, because chances are we are just betting on how the course is going to play. These are 3 of the best plays this week that have 3 of the best tee times. So that's kind of a way of going about doing that, is you can kind of do it both ways. And so we literally do not have a single desirable hitting fantasy score prop bet that we would have. We have a few decent ones. So if we want to go Matt Olson with the taco, we can do that. And then just some other ones just to call out again. We do have Corey Seager as one of those popping up as one we could potentially be on. I went Matt Olson simply because the Vegas line had him favored to get the over. So I was kind of comfortable doing that. Mookie Betts is one we could roll with as well. Like, these are all okay ones. Given the day that we have, we might be forced into making those prop bets. That's the unfortunate side of it. But that's all for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the coverage, make sure to give a like and subscribe. If you guys want access to that cheat sheet, it is available for just $10 a month. Let's have a good slate today. Fingers are crossed. It's very tight. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.